I said, well, do like what I used to do with the bill collectors. Boil some hot water and spill it on it. Okay.
Question. Okay, like how does that? Okay, like other people hear about COINTELPRO. I mean, not even COINTELPRO, but government say surveillance, so on and so forth. Mr. Ward or something? Okay. How does that impact like not only organized but like family? You know what I'm saying? Relationships. You know what I'm saying? Just in relation with other people. The impact on that. How does that?
Yeah, Chairman, I can say from my experience, my brother was a Cook County sheriff. They were always coming to him in terms of my involvement with the party. He couldn't give them a lot of information because I wasn't around him. You know, my allegiance and dedication was to the party. I would see him occasionally. Now he would buy papers and we would kind of hang out because he had an apartment over on, it was 7630 South Shore Drive. That area was kind of like the upper class area at that time. All the high scale players and what have you. You know, so we would go through there. Party members would go through there, crash out, listen to music. You know, he had one of the high tech stereo systems, Macintosh. You know what I'm saying? And we'd go through and listen to music and kick it there, read the Red Book, and have our little debates and what have you. But they were always on him about my involvement and what could he find out what I was doing. But one thing I will say, we caught a case where we got sentenced to what they call the Bradwell. I know you heard about the Bradwell. Yeah. So we were 3 weeks in Bradwell, and he was the.
For the benefit of those who don't know, Bradwell.
As Cook County Jail, it was the outer cusp of the Cook County Jail that inmates were sent in instead of being inside the jail. And this was before they built these other new
divisions.
So by him being sergeant of that dorm, they were like dorms. We had juice. So my mama would cook. You know, she'd do a regular cooking, greens, hot water cornbread, and that's how we were able to organize. So my brother would bring the stuff in. So the brothers did, you know, I said, hey man, we got to
go into too much detail on that. Yeah.
So that was, go ahead, Tim.
No, reason I appreciate that because by the time we struggle, people just look at it in the I gotta say, like in a detached way from, you know what I'm saying, the impact. Like, I mean, I tell people, I say, like, you know, when the police, they come, you know, in the movie, they come to the station, they'll say to the sister, something like, you know, you have any children? Really ain't no question. They try to tap to their maternal connection, you know what I'm saying, and exploit it. And how, like, you know, just even with family has struggled. How, I tell people, I say, like, it's a Harriet Tubman, and when she made her moves, she wouldn't even tell her husband. You know what I'm saying? And you couldn't. And to be, it's a scientific art. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people look at historical code, but that dynamic, you know what I'm saying, dealing with that, you know what I'm saying, they need to know basis. I talked about when I was in El Salvador, and they had this, and even today they still refer to it as the conflict. You know, like they still euphanize it with U.S. imperialism done over there. But everybody was going to this event. I said, where everybody going? And we was going over there, and there was a scene, and all these people who had been murdered and assassinated, their names on the wall. But for the first time, a lot of their parents was just revealing their actual names to each other. Now, without the politics, you might look at it like, man, what you mean your mother had a relationship with this guy and they know his name? But the counterinsurgency, the agent provocateurs was so intense that you know what I'm saying, that you didn't reveal your actual name, your relationships. And outside, look, some people say, well, they shouldn't have a relationship. And I said, you know, on the streets when I grew up, it was like suspect if you ask a person their real name. Right. But to be able to still operate with it, still maintain your humanity, but still keeping in mind the counterinsurgency. And a lot of times people like, no, the official agent provocateurs, like, you know, saying Chairman Fred, when his coach was, half these motherfuckers crazy, half of them dumb, rest of them agents. But trying to figure out which one it is, I've been a pincher to the graveyard. You know what I'm saying? So just even a simple mistake, but to be able to move scientifically like that and still move forward with struggle, but still maintain, like, you know, a family, we love you, but it still be scientific. You know what I'm saying? How, that balancing act. How was that?
Look, there was a rule in the party.
Yes.
That you couldn't be in a relationship with someone outside of the party. Men could recruit women into the party and have a relationship, but the sisters could not go out and have relationships with men outside of the party. The sisters didn't like that. And so that was done to try to keep them safe, keep the party safe, and keep informants from infiltrating into the party. But see, we didn't have, when the 1,000 people came out of the woodwork to join here in Chicago. 400 came out of the woodwork to join in Seattle. This repeated itself across the country. You have to remember that this is 1968. And so there was no internet.
Right.
There were no cell phones.
Good point.
And so when we had an application.
Yes.
That we made people fill out.
Yes.
But it was like the word of mouth.
Yes.
Do you know this dude?
Yeah.
Do you vouch for this person?
Yes.
So that was the only way we had to check people. There was no operation to really fully check people and check people out. That's how so many people, they were either provocateurs or most of them were rally panthers that came in, trying to look cool, catch women, but the rules of the party prevailed.
Yes.
Because one of the rules of the party was you couldn't mistreat women.
Yes.
And so I was head of the goon squad.
So trying to clean house.
I had to put a boot upside the head with my squad to kick them out of the party because they were running rampant.
Yes.
But there was no way to really control it. Now, see, for my parents, my mother she's 99, still alive. She tells the story that she used to sleep on the side of the bed where the phone was. My dad didn't want to be bothered. So when the phone rang in the middle of the night, she'd pick it up and someone would say, we're gonna come kill those nigger sons of yours. And she would say, go ahead and try. Because she knew that we were prepared to defend ourselves and we had bodyguards.
Yes.
So I have a motherfucking informants.
But Chair, they one of the things that when in relationship to that question you asked about our families, welfare checks were cut off.
Yep.
Okay, that was made crystal clear. I'm gonna stop that income to your mom. So
college funds was
it heightened the contradiction. And check this out, mom
good point. That
had
was
to end up coming to get food from the party. This was before the food giveaways. Get food from the party to sustain. From that breakfast program. To sustain. And that's what educated mom to them survival programs. Them Panthers was there when the pigs cut the resources.
Like the education funds. Because in fact, I guess the government hadn't realized what was happening yet. Because by the time I had graduated in high school, we had started the party in April. I graduated from high school in May.
This is Seattle.
Yeah, this is Seattle.
The Seattle chapter.
But I had already gotten an application to go to the University of Washington, and so did Aaron. And we had the federal money,
the BEOG grant,
whatever the grants were. You know what we did with our checks?
Came to the party.
No, we went out and bought weapons.
Came to the party. That commitment, that sacrifice. Yes.
Chairman Bobby said that you need two things. As he was organizing the chapter, he said you had to read 2 hours a day, go to PE classes twice a week, and then he said you had to have 1,000 rounds of ammunition and 2 weapons.
And believe that we stood on that 10 toes, on that.
10 toes. Yeah. So we were able to use those EEO checks or whatever and so when I first started going to campus, I couldn't bring a bodyguard into class with me. I always had a briefcase. The comrades used to carry the briefcase. In my briefcase was my psychology book and the 357 Magnum. Because whenever you stepped out of the door, you never knew. You never
Well, see, it got so deep here in Chi that Chairman had to put a mandate because we had reactionaries carrying firearms.
Right.
So they had to be, and they were doing reactionary things. So you couldn't carry unless, just like with the PE class, you couldn't carry unless you had taken some type of firearm training. And Comrade Jake Winters was the main machine.
I was the instructor in the firearms class.
Okay. All right. Jake was the one here. Jake was the one that they used to blindfold me and they'd be breaking them down and that office there, putting them back together.
That was standard procedure.
See, I was blessed in East St. Louis because we had 3 Vietnam vets that was in leadership, and we had a couple other guys who had not went to Vietnam but had been in the military. I was around about all these guys.
Aaron Perkins being one, because he was a machine gunner, and that boy was wild.
I think most chapters had some form of Vietnam. That were able to help organize and help us fortify our
without a doubt.
Because after we got the call when Chairman Fred was murdered that morning, and we had already started sandbagging all of the walls in the office.
The same day?
Huh?
Same day.
Oh, we had already been doing it beforehand.
But this intensified it.
We got the call.
No social media. No social media. This is Seattle.
Phone call,
This
not a sayer like
yeah. And this is Seattle. This is Seattle. The destruction of this. Okay, right on. Yes. Yeah, check.
Our walls were sandbagged. We had steel and plywood. We had wood just like that on the windows. Those wood frames.
Yes.
So
yes.
We bolted into the wood.
To the sashes.
They were steel. They were plywood sandwiches, and in between was steel. And you know where the steel came from? It was manhole covers out of the rich neighborhood. Manhole cover. And sandwiches in between. That was the steel that we had in between and then at the bottom, of course, was the gun flaps. So while we had organized that, the LA office had already been ready.
Yes.
And so
Geronimo was responsible.
Geronimo was responsible for that. So days after they attacked and murdered Fred, they came to LA because I told you the first 3 cities for elimination were Chicago, Seattle, and LA. So they went straight to LA, and they created SWAT for the party.
SWAT.
But the LA chapter, when you went into that office on Central Avenue, it had if you didn't know this, you had to step down because they had dug a trench. And see, G had got them to do that. You dug a trench, and then once you were down the trench, in order to get to the office of the officer of the day, the OD's office, you had to walk down and then turn left, and then when you turn right, there was the OD. So when the pigs got that first door down, they all fell on their faces. And then they gathered themselves and they got up and they came down. It was dark because all the lights were out, tear gas. They come down. They make that first left. As soon as they turn that first right, a barrage of shotguns blew them back out of the office and blew them back in the street.
That was 41st and Central.
41st and Central.
But so, that was pretty standard for even. I mean, people used to come into Western and Madison and freak out. We had one brother he seen all them sandbags and shit. He passed out. You ain't got no spine. I want to buy a pound of paper. So we did it, and that was across the board. Because the pigs were known for riding by, just shooting in the party offices across the country.
Drive-bys.
Back then. Drive-bys. They shoot right in the office.
Actually, they
brought over
they left
daylight.
over from the mafia and all the rest of that 1930.
Headquarters like that on Shattuck.
Shattuck office.
Yeah. You want to ask a question, bro?
You was when you speaking about Jake. I went to school with Jake, but I didn't know I thought he was a nerd. Plus, I hung with Lance Bell.
Huh?
I hung with Lance Bell.
Yeah, I remember Lance.
Yeah, his mother was more military than he was.
Whose mother?
Lance's mother.
Oh, okay.
When they killed them 10 police and paralyzed 9 on 57 South Park, where the King Drive. South Park. I was a part of him making the guns and carrying guns and putting them places, but I didn't know that he could make a gun. So he told me the whole family made guns. But what I'm saying is, Marvell was very instrumental in Lance doing what he was doing. Now later on, he was a structured part. That's all. When you said something about Spurgeon, you had to see him because his fat self was with him, and he weighed 370 pounds.
Right.
But when they killed them police, they beat the weight off of him.
Oh yeah.
He ended up weighing 220 when they got through slamming him and starving him, going through that jail term.
Right.
But the part of it was he later on, after he got out, started messing with the white power. And when them guys escaped out of Stateville, I'm the one hit them guys that they called the cab to Marvell's house.
Really?
Yeah, I instituted that, and the FBI said they was gonna tear my house up in Crete just because I was affiliated with it. They don't know. They didn't have no information on me because I had my hands clean. And I was always scared and paranoid of people talking, or asking me questions if they had wires on or whatever. I always was paranoid like that since 1969, being in Inglewood High School. Before I became a Panther, I left the Disciples because we beat a person up half to death. And the next day, it was a white boy standing on the same corner, 63rd Stewart. And I said, let's get him. They said they hadn't done nothing to them. So I knew then I wasn't finna be a disciple no more. I just couldn't let them know because I was a high priest and they'd have killed me from the information I had if I'd have got out just like that. I eased my way out. But I eased my way into the revolutionary part because I was up riding at night when they brought them gas jugs in on 51st and Wentworth with them 12 floors where the people that work there only know about 7. And I found out they do everything at night when we sleep. And when we woke, that's why my revolutionary thought was to be sleeping in the daytime and up at night. Because the whole world watch your back. If this house catch on fire in the daytime, everybody down the block call. If you catch on fire 2 or 3 in the morning, I'm the only one up. That's a part of his status. But it's the revolutionary thought. I was saying that because he later told something on me. And I told his mother. And she said, just don't kill him. She knew that he had got weak from messing with the powder. And then he said it coming out of Catman's joint, the all-night joint on 58th Street. He said, don't put 2 on my head. And the guys was with me that be with me, that watch my back. And they said, you strong. I said, no, I ain't strong. I respect him because of what he did and how he brought up the community and how he respected the Panthers and who they was. He's not that anymore. He don't have that heart anymore. And another short